Oh, there you are. I'm so sorry I didn't see you there. I do apologize. I was just dancing to Staying Alive in my mind, of course, only in my mind. So I'm very sorry. You interrupted me, but never mind. Anyway, how are you? Have you had a good afternoon, all of you? What have you been doing in Indonesia or Turkey or wherever? Well, I've had a nice afternoon. It's very cold outside. It's about 8 degrees at the moment. So I wrapped up very warmly, as you can see, with my lovely little Norwegian flag there. And I went for a walk by the harbour. It's, as I said this morning, it's quite a rich place, this harbour. It's not for the likes of poor people like me. It's already ruined whatever money I had in my bank. But it was very nice. Extraordinary thing. I was looking for somewhere to eat, and I found a place called Captain Larson's, and it said bar and cafe. So I went inside, and there was a young man about 30s, I suppose, very good looking, very Norwegian, and he was wearing a white tunic shirt and 4 stripes on it. So I thought, oh, quite clearly it's very important. So I went up to him and I said, "Do you serve food here?" And he said, No, we don't serve food here. So I said, "Oh, well, what can I get? Can I have a cup of coffee?" And he said, "Yes, you can have a cup of coffee." I said, "Are you in the Navy?" And he said, "No. My great-great-great-great-grandfather was," he said. Yes. Well, that was interesting. But no food, even though it said cafe and restaurant, cafe, bar, cafe outside. So I said, "But you say bar, cafe outside?" He said, "Oh no, that was 3 years ago." So clearly I was 3 years too late. Well, then I moved on. He pointed out some other place to me, and I went to it, and it was really very nice. It was a lovely cafe with a glass all the way around to enclose it, and it was right at the side of the harbour. So I said to them, "Do you by any chance have any salmon?" And a young man said, "Yes, of course we have salmon. How do you want it?" I said, "I don't know. How is it?" So he offered various ways, and I opted for grilled salmon. Well, Norwegian salmon is very famous, as we all know. And I was determined to have it, especially my dear friend in Benidorm had recommended it. And Norwegian salmon is the best in the world, I think. Anyway, I ordered it. I waited for a long time, and I thought how nice it was just to sit and not do anything but watch the boats in the harbour. And then my mind started thinking, Bodo was at the centre of war operations during the war. There were just north of Bodo is a big port called Narvik, and it was in fact the centre of one of the big naval and land battles during the war. I think British commandos raided it, and I think even my brother was in the raid. I think they made a film based on it called The Heroes of Telemark with Richard Harris. I may be wrong, but I seem to remember it. And it was a very fierce and bloody battle, and a lot of people were killed. So it has a history of trouble during the war, and I just sat there contemplating and thinking about that and trying to imagine what the place was like with German stormtroopers wandering through the streets, throwing their weight around. It's very different now because it's all rebuilt. But that was interesting. And then came my salmon, and my contemplations finished immediately. But it was really rather lovely. The food was terrific. Lovely fresh vegetables and very fresh salmon. So I know when I do these broadcasts, they're fairly flippant, but At least they give you an idea of where I am and what I'm up to. And that's why I have them twice a day. I'll be telling you tomorrow about Monday, because Monday's going to be rather difficult. There probably will be no broadcast at all, because I have a 10.5-hour journey to do, which means leaving at 6 in the morning. And unless I can find somewhere at 1 o'clock in Sweden, a service station or something that has Wi-Fi connections, then I can't get in touch with you. And I doubt I'll get to the hotel much before 8 o'clock or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to play it by ear. But there were two very strange ladies sitting in the restaurant, and they were chain smoking, and they had leather jackets on, and they were clearly having a row. And it sounded a bit like this. And I thought, my dear, this is going to turn ugly any minute now. Well, after a few minutes, it did turn a bit ugly, because one got up and went round to the other one and pushed her. So luckily, I'd just come to the end of my meal, so I got out of there pretty quickly. It's interesting little things that happen to you during the course of a day, isn't it? There you are. But I have managed to rest a little bit today, you'll be pleased to hear. And I've been answering some of the lovely emails that I've been getting. I can't tell you how grateful I am. People contributing and sending lovely messages to me. I really am. I'm very, very touched. All our gang, and also my dear friends in Morla, where my home is at the moment, to Norma West and June Wyndham Davies, who've been so supportive to me, and to my dear friends John Coffey and his dear friend, who is they're both looking after my house for me. And lots of lovely friends, and dear John and Bernie are looking after it. I hope you don't mind these little personal messages every so often, because I don't really have a chance to get in touch with them otherwise. But I just want all my friends in Mula, including my doctor, Dr. Juan Biscuit, Louise Kidd and her mother, all these people. I just want, and the mayor too, the mayor who was very good enough to see me off. And I hope you don't mind, as I say, me with these messages every so often, personal messages. But I want all my friends in Morla to know that I think just as much of them as I do of my dear supportive friends in Benidorm. But I'm looking forward to getting home soon. I'm getting rather sick of being on my own all the time, with no one to talk to. Oh, by the way, and that I meant to mention to you, in that restaurant, I was very upset to see whale ham steak. The Norwegians are still killing the poor whales. I think it's disgraceful. Anyway, enough of my posturing, my nonsense. I think I'll go back to my silent dancing. What was I dancing to? Oh, yes, Staying Alive. Well, they can't do anything about that, because it's not their music, it's in my mind. Anyway, I hope you have as good a night as I hope I will have. But don't snore too much, because I may hear you here. All right? All of you. Wherever you are, sleep well, be happy, and think of poor little me all on my own on the other side of the world, waiting to go home. Good night. Sweet dreams.